Golden FM 97.5.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us on the Golden Sunrise National and World News. In the headlines, federal government defends 2-year delay in ambassadorial appointments, accuses ADC of politicizing foreign policy. Senate approves President Tinubu's $21 billion foreign loan. PDP kicks off 101st NEC meeting today. Bayelsa government constitutes conflict resolution committee to handle Otakeme leadership crisis. On foreign scene, WHO condemns Israeli attacks on facilities in central Gaza. Details coming up shortly.
5 Golden FM, where every moment is golden.
You may learn something.
Many thanks once again for joining us on the Golden Sunrise National and World News. I am Moyes Steven. Now the details. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has brushed off comments from the African Democratic Congress ADC criticizing the delayed appointments of ambassadors at Nigerian missions abroad. In a statement, Mr. Bolaji Abdullahi, ADC Interim National Publicity Secretary, said President Bola Tinubu's refusal to appoint ambassadors has affected the quality of engagement and relationships with the host countries of Nigerian missions. Mr. Abdullahi cited the visa policy updates from the United States and the United Arab Emirates UAE as proof of deteriorating relations, owing to the absence of ambassadors. But in a statement on Tuesday, Mr. Al-Qasim Abdul-Qadi, Special Assistant on Media and Communication Strategy to Honorable Yusuf Tuga, Minister of Foreign Affairs, said the ADC's criticisms were baseless and politicized. The minister said the delay in appointments of ambassadors is owed to President Tinubu's comprehensive reform of Nigeria's foreign service architecture to ensure that future ambassadorial appointments reflect not only political balance, but also merit, competence, and integrity. Honorable Abdul-Qadi noted that Nigeria remains diplomatically represented in all its missions headed by Charge d'Affaires, and asked the ADC not to undermine the credibility of the country's diplomacy by casting aspersions on the diplomats. The Senate has approved President Bola Tinubu's external borrowing plan of over $21 billion for the 2025 to 2026 fiscal cycle, paving the way for the full implementation of the 2025 Appropriation Act. The comprehensive borrowing package includes 21.19 billion naira in direct foreign loans, 4 billion euros, 15 billion yen, and $65 million grant of domestic borrowing through government bonds, totaling approximately 757 billion naira. Also included was a provision to raise up to $2 billion through a foreign currency denominated instrument in the domestic market. The approval followed the presentation of a report by Senator Aliyu Wamako, the chairman of the Senate Committee on Local and Foreign Debt, who noted that the plan was first submitted to the National Assembly on May 27, but was delayed due to legislative recess and documentation issues from the Debt Management Office. Senator Olamilekan Adeola, the chairman of the Senate Committee on Appropriations, said most of the loan requests had already been factored into the medium-term expenditure framework and the 2025 budget. The Senate has announced plans to hold a special session on Wednesday in honor of former President Muhammadu Buhari. The tribute session will reflect on his legacies and contributions to national development following his recent passing. Meanwhile, the Senate has urged the public to disregard unverified social media claims suggesting that the Senate Committee on Constitutional Review had recommended the creation of new states. Senator Godswill Akpabio, the Senate President, gave this clarification after Senator Abdul Ningi raised concerns over widespread social media reports on the purported creation. The Senate President clarified that while some communities have begun holding meetings on how to develop their supposed new states, no state has been created by the Senate. He urged the public to await official communication from the National Assembly on constitutional matters. The People's Democratic Party is set to commence its 101st National Executive Committee meeting on today in Abuja. The crucial three-day gathering, which extends through Thursday, July 24 and Friday, July 25, is expected to address key party matters, internal reforms, and strategic planning ahead of the 2027 general elections. Now, this was contained in a special announcement issued by Mr. Debo Olugunagba, the National Publicity Secretary of the party. The party said the meeting will be held at the PDP National Secretariat in Abuja, with proceedings scheduled to begin at 2 p.m. daily. Meanwhile, Governor Ademola Adeleke of Osun State and the leadership of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) in the state have officially endorsed President Bola Tinubu for re-election in the 2027 presidential election. This decision comes despite recent speculation that Governor Adeleke was considering defecting to the All Progressives Congress (APC), a move that was reportedly met with strong opposition from within the Osun State APC. Governor Adeleke and PDP's decision to endorse President Tinubu was formalized at the stakeholders meeting held at the Government House in Oke, Fia, Oshobo. A communique issued after the meeting was signed by Governor Adeleke, Senator Kola Adewusi, his deputy, Senator Adewale Egbedun, Speaker of the House of Assembly, Prince Olagushoye Oyinola, former governor, and 24 other prominent party members. Now, the communique emphasized the importance of local politics and the sentiments of grassroots supporters in shaping their political decisions. The federal government has revealed that privately owned computer-based test CBT centers and others belonging to public institutions will be fully deployed in the conduct of the school-based senior school certificate examination by next year. Dr. Tunji Alausa, the Minister of Education, made this known after monitoring a pilot CBT SSCE conducted by the National Examinations Council (NEC) yesterday in Abuja. Dr. Alausa, who hailed NECO for the seamless conduct of the pilot phase of the CBT SSCE, said that future school-based SSCEs would be moved to designated CBT centers rather than being held within schools. And you're listening to the Golden Sunrise National and World News on 97.5 Golden FM Yanagwa. Still to come, more news. Please stay tuned.
This is your Golden FM 97.5 Golden FM, the gold standard of radio. Stay locked on your golden station 97.5 Golden FM.
Welcome back. You're still listening to the Golden Sunrise National and World News. And now for the rest of the bulletin. Bayelsa State Government has set up a 6-man committee to investigate the lingering intra-communal conflict in Otakeme in Ogbia local government area of the state in a bid to restore enduring peace and stability. Senator Lawrence Orujako, the Deputy Governor, on Tuesday constituted the committee during a meeting with stakeholders of Otakeme community in Government House Yanagwa. Membership of the committee include Comrade Gowon Toriyoye, the Deputy Chief of Staff, Deputy Governor's Office, Chief Watson Belamote, Commissioner for Community Development, and Mrs. Ebiwo Koku Obiyan, Commissioner for Information, Strategy and Orientation. Others are Mr. Golding Jeremiah, the Chairman of Ogbia Local Government Council, Mr. Richard Berekeme, and Mr. Timidi Wariowe, technical advisors to the governor on special duties. The deputy governor has charged members of the committee to painstakingly look into the issues surrounding the leadership tussle in Otakeme community and submit its report to government within 3 weeks' time for necessary action. Senator Richapo, who mandated members of the committee to wade into the allegations leveled against the chairman of the Otakeme Council of Chiefs, urged the committee to ensure fair hearing for all parties involved in the dispute.
Decision to suspend the festival. We had that information that it was likely going to be because 2 parties were claiming on trying to organize that festival and they wanted to do things like confront. And government that is responsible, reasonable couldn't have allowed that. That's why we took the decision and asked the Commissioner for Local Government Area to suspend the festival. Government's will is very slow but very determined. and specific. So that's our impression of the issue of the festival. And so while it is very clear that justice delayed may be justice tempered with, or justice delayed is not justice denied. So I will leave the matter in the hands of the Commissioner for Local Government, because leadership is nurturing. So we have left it in the hands of the Commissioner for Local Government to handle.
He advised the people to sink their differences and encourage a harmonious and peaceful coexistence, noting that a community such as Otakeme should not allow itself to be embroiled in leadership issues that had lingered for the past 52 years.
You are acting on Pravas, and so you must confine yourself to the law. There should be respect for the law and respect for the court's processes and decisions. And the last one is that there should be respect of human rights in implementation of the law. And the rights of the individual is the basis for which the laws of the country to be made, not people making the laws for themselves. Yes, you have your Otakame constitution. So what they're saying is that the Otakame constitution consistent with the provisions of the chieftaincy law of Bayelsa State. If there's inconsistency between the chieftaincy law of the constitution of Otakame with the chieftaincy law of the state, the chieftaincy law of the state takes precedence. To that extent, the constitution of Otakame becomes null and void to the extent of its inconsistency to the laws of Bayelsa State. And so we have this at the back of our mind.
In his remarks, Chief Thompson Amule, the Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, said efforts made to get the warring factions of the community to resolve the matter had remained futile. Also, Professor Edmond Allison Oguru, a stakeholder of the Otakeme community and former secretary to the state government, explained that the communal misunderstanding escalated when some individuals attempted to forcefully take over the governance of the community last year.
Got embroiled in some misunderstanding way back last year, and the thing snowballed to the point where some people wanted to forcefully take over the governance of the community. But by the grace of God, the police and then, of course, government intervened and stopped that. But since then, we brought the matter to the attention of the Bayelsa State government, and the Bayelsa State government has been looking into the matter. But the community have been calling me each time how far. Truth of the matter, Your Excellency, that the community thought that government will be able to at least resolve the issues in a much shorter time than it is taking. So we decided to come see you and then formally present our worries and our concern in that respect, so that together we can see how we can expedite action to look for solutions to the community matter.
In their separate remarks, Chief Charles Paul and Chief Godwill Aswell, stakeholders of our Otakeme community, said the leadership impasse in the Otakeme community had lingered for too long and therefore appealed to government to address the issues without further delay. As part of his administration's efforts to boost agriculture, ensure food security, and job creation, Governor Doyediri has charged chairmen of the 8 local government areas in Bayelsa State to identify crops that they had comparative advantage, as well as go into vegetables, fruits, aquaculture, and poultry production. Governor Diri said his administration was committed to boosting food production through large-scale farming across communities in the state. He gave the charge on Monday during a meeting with the council chairman in Government House in Agua. The Bayelsa State Chief Executive, who identified agriculture as a major pillar of his administration's agenda, also spoke of the need to explore the state's potential in the sector and enhance its value chain for job and wealth creation, thereby diversifying the state's economy. It asked the chairman to work closely with the relevant ministries such as agriculture and natural resources, marine and blue economy, lands and survey, and that of local government and chieftaincy affairs to establish demonstration farms under the supervision of Senator Lawrence Rujako, the deputy governor.
Priority areas of this government is agriculture. We have no reason to be talking about hunger in Bayelsa State. We are naturally rich. But how are we exploiting these riches that nature has bestowed on us? It is time that Bayelsa should produce what they will eat and at the same time sell to others and possibly export to other countries. I am prepared to do everything that will revolutionize agriculture in Bayelsa State. We want to see an agricultural revolution. I want you guys now to identify in each local government area your areas of comparative advantage in each local government area.
Governor Diri equally directed the council chairman to establish personal farms while supporting local farmers by serving as off-takers of their produce to enhance food production. He emphasized the need to revive existing farms as well as acquire large expanse of land towards actualizing the government's vision and make lasting impact in the sector.
It's universal for all Bayelsans, because there is no Bayelsa local government that does not have a river or where you cannot dig ponds. So take fish as all of you, all the 8 local government areas. Now identify your own strengths where you are strong in production, but each of you must identify at least 2 to 3 areas where you have a comparative advantage, because this is not something for the state government alone, so that you can have demonstration farms that will enable our people to now key in. Those of them who don't want to be entrepreneurs, who want to be employees, can be employed there.
In separate remarks, Honorable Tarie Lele, Chairman of Kolokuma Opukuma, Honorable Golding Jeremiah Ogbia, Honorable Alice Tangi Sagbama, Honorable Bula Diseye Ndiwari Yanagua, Honorable Target Segibo Southern Ijo, and Honorable Isaac Onie Ekeremo assured that they would establish demonstration farms and implement the government's vision. They also spoke about their plans, the challenges, and what they were doing individually as chairman to revive and boost food production in their areas.
And most of us are interested in going into agri. We planted corns, we have harvested them. By next month, we'll harvest potato. We also tested with few cucumbers, and they also grew.
What we can achieve best is cassava. We can also go to fish farming. We will also have our demonstration farm.
In Brigbene and Galawek that they are very good at farming, particularly sugar cane.
Brass, we are fishermen.
In Obia, we can produce plantain very well. We can equally produce cassava very well. Pepper, because in Obia we have a lot of highlands. As we speak, there is a farm in Abobiri.
In Southern Ijo, we have the Permabri rice farm that has been lying fallow.
In my area, farming, that is for yam and plantain. Then fishing also.
With the school session wrapped up, families are left at a crossroads. Now, is it better to keep the academic momentum going through summer school, or should children use the break to learn a valuable skill outside the classroom? In Nigeria, the constant struggle between academic success and learning a good skill has always been a problem for both students and parents. Some feel it's better to remain consistent with the academic scheme, while others feel it's better to learn a skill for future use. Now, speaking with Aaron Moses, Golding 97.5 FM's correspondent, Mr. Samuel, a high school teacher from a renowned private school in Yanagwa, who shared his perspective, stated that although summer school is beneficial, learning a skill will be more useful for their future. Well, another teacher from the private school stated that both are good, but summer school will be more beneficial as it prevents children from being idle. Now, on her part, Mrs. Cynthia, another teacher who is also a parent, noted that she prefers skill acquisition as it is more beneficial. In the end, opinions remain divided. While some educators and parents believe in maintaining academic continuity through summer school, others see greater value in equipping children with practical skills that can support their future independence. Now, on the foreign scene, the World Health Organization WHO says Israel's offensive in central Gaza has compromised its efforts to continue working after its facilities came under attack. The UN agency accused Israeli forces of attacking a staff residence in the city of Deir al-Balah and mistreating those sheltering there. Its main warehouse was also attacked and destroyed. The WHO said one of its staff detained by troops during the raid on a residence was still being held and demanded their immediate release. The Israeli military said it detained several individuals suspected of involvement in terrorism in the area and that most were released. And that's the Golding Sunrise National and World News from 97.5 Golding FM Yanagwa. But before we go, here's a recap of our major stories. Federal government has defended the 2-year delay in ambassadorial appointments and accused ADC of politicizing foreign policy. Senate has approved President Bola Tinubu's $21 billion foreign loan. PDP has kicked off a 101st NEC meeting today. Bayelsa government has constituted conflict resolution committee to handle Otakeme leadership crisis. And on the foreign scene, WHO has condemned Israeli attacks on facilities in central Gaza. And that was the Golden Sunrise News. For news stories, comments, and observations, please send us an email at goldengfmyenagwa@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, and TikTok on 97.5 Golden FM Yenagwa. The news was edited by Bright Oko, and I am Moye Steven. Good morning.
Golden FM 97.5.